Hi everybody, this is a video on the Lexus CT200h. So this is to do with a fix. So my background's in IT, we look at first line fixes. So and I thought it'd be a good idea to do a video just to let people know how to rectify this issue. So anyway, this is a 2014 luxury model. Love my Lexus, I've had it for years. So this is the error that I was getting, and I'm sure a lot of people will start to get this at some point. So initially it shows you the map, but when you click on show the map, after a very short while, you'll get an error message. So I've had this issue twice now, so where it tells you that I can't read the SD data from the card itself, the SD card. So the SD cards, as you can see here, this is where it is. So I reckon this could be due to due to the fact of the roads, bouncing up and down, causing some sort of damage in the card. The SD card's tiny, and they are more efficient than the CDs or the DVDs that were around before models. But anyhow, the only fix that I found for this was, apart from cleaning out the card itself, because from the message that you get, it's the issue is with the card, not with the actual hardware, which is in terms of the card itself or the reader. So anyway, what I did was I went on eBay. eBay is probably the best option. I ended up finding a number of businesses that are actually selling cars. They range from £30 to £50. So I got mine in between. So a lot of them, they make the same claim in terms of it's not from China, but anyway, so it's more of an up to date SD card with the latest maps. So in terms of, you can see it's all nice and clean. So this hopefully should rectify the issue, but I did encounter one or two issues with it, which I'll go through on this video. So that's why I thought it would be important to cover it. So this one literally just goes into the slot, just like the other one came out. This one goes back in. Make sure your car's on, make sure you're parked up. Initially it won't work, because what you need to do is, which they don't tell you, you need to turn the car off and then back on again. Yeah, so in this scenario, what I discovered was the issue wasn't the card. Again, it was in terms of the instructions. So anyhow, so here it tells you it's installing the software. So it just makes you aware that, don't turn the car engine off and keep the SD card inserted, which is going to be anyway. So just make sure in terms of you just get rid of the other card. Well, I've just stored mine anyway, but back in the pack. But what you want to do is, this can take a while. So a lot of videos out there said it could take 5-10 minutes. And mine, to be honest, took a while. So what I did was I was just waiting around for a while, basically. Luckily, it was off shift, so just waiting around in the car. So what I did was, so I put this away, and just waited, which took a while. So let's just fast forward this video. 10-15 minutes waiting. I'm still waiting around in the car. It's still going. I'm just playing about with my keys. I'm still thinking what's going on. Then I think back to my IT period. Right, what I'm gonna have to do is look at in terms of why is it taking this long. So I did a little bit of research online while I was waiting around to see what's going on, because I found it's taking quite a long time. It was halfway, but when it got to halfway, it was just pretty much just stuck. Yeah. So at this stage, what I did was I thought, what, the best thing to do is just turn it off. So what I did was I just turned it off. So again, I kept a track on it to see in terms of where it got to, because you can see there's a faded line there, so it shows you in terms of how far it got to. So for what I had to do was, like I said, I thought the best thing to do was to turn it off, so I turned it off from here. So powered it off, gave it a little bit of a time, left the card in. I didn't bother taking the card back out, and then what I did was I just no, actually, sorry, I do. No, actually, I did take the card out. All I did was just blow on it and then put it back in again. As you can see, my car was quite fairly dusty. So then what I did was, then I turned it back on. Then I went through the same process again. It's time to update the software. So slightly different message, but as you can see, the line's moving fairly rapidly, quite quickly. It's moving on. So not as much waiting around this time. Then it moves on to the next part of the screen, which itself it reboots. So the car's still on, but it's rebooted itself. This time it shows you in terms of to show the map. The good thing was it kept everything in terms of my old data on there, in terms of my favorites and some saved locations that I had, so that I kept it there. So yeah, so I went to the favorites and I had like all relatives and so forth and specific work and gym locations. They're all saved on there. So I thought I'll just give it a go, just to make sure it works. There you go. Yeah, it worked. It worked perfectly fine. So what I did was I thought I'll just try it because it's happened in the past where you just reverse, driving on, and then what happens is it just fails. But in this scenario, it actually worked. So yeah, £30-40 fix is very, very good. So, and as you can see, the sat nav worked perfectly fine. Yeah, so worked completely fine, no issues. So £30-40 fix, where I believe if you go to the dealers, they're charging you about £400 to £500. I turned it off again and then back on again, because that's another test to make sure it's not just a one-off. And when I turned it back on again, it did work. Sorry, I had to turn off my inverter. Yeah, same again. So this is normally where I would get the error, but in this scenario, I didn't get the error. Everything were working perfectly fine as it should. So it's good as a backup. Obviously, I know Google Maps is better, but anyway, there you go. Hope that helps. Thank you, everyone.